And we are live. Welcome, guys, to sportsbookreview.com, continuing our coverage of the Australian Open with the whale capper and Alex from Need for Tips. Great to have you back, guys. How's everything going? How's the sleep going, more importantly?
What? It's been a fun tournament so far. A lot of good single game action. I'm having a great week. I don't know. You guys enjoying the week?
I'm
to
enjoying the week.
Back.
I know, but the upsets. The first one, I spoke with Alex earlier in the week, but Venus Williams, she was sort of like my not so secret dark horse to win the competition. That was an early bow out of the tournament.
Boy, did she get a rough draw there. Getting Bencic round one is not, Bencic was coming in on form. She obviously let down in her second match, but yeah, that was a tough go for her. I really, you would have hoped to see her be around for week two because it makes for more dramatic tennis. That quarter of the draw really opened up for Svitolina, huh?
Yeah, yeah, sure did. Draw opening up for Svitolina, sorry, Alex.
It's a really good draw for Svitolina. Belinda Bencic disappointed me in the second round. I thought that she will continue like that on a really good shape, but no, she didn't. Unfortunately, yesterday we had a bad second round, but we will get back with some profit in the third round and so on, because following very interesting matches to follow in the third round and so on.
Yeah. What about your girl Simona Halep, Alex? She's priced 9 at the moment, sort of a bit of a long shot bet as a sort of the odds start shortening there. She destroyed Bouchard. Do you think how far do you see her going?
Well, for sure she will pass also the third round because Lauren Davis is not the toughest opponent for Halep, despite her injury. Her odds are still there at 9. So they didn't drop or they didn't got up at all. So remained at 9. But her performance today against Bouchard was brilliant from my point of view. But what you could expect from Bouchard, because she is not at her top tennis in the last 4 years and counting. I don't think that she will come back in the top 20 in the future. Because she was an overrated player to start with, and she will continue to be an overrated player. I think that Simona Halep has a difficult draw. This is my biggest fear from now on. If she will pass Lauren Davis, for example, she will play in the fourth round. Let me tell you, 1 second. What I believe she will play with Barty or Osaka. A really tough match. Doesn't matter against whom she will play. And after that, quarterfinals, Pliskova, for sure the most difficult opponent for her in this quarter. If she will pass those two, she has a shot for winning the trophy.
Let's wait and see. Do you agree there, Whale?
Yeah, I think that was well broken down. I have her playing Barty in the next round. Barty's got the home team, she's got the home crowd support. She's Australia's darling in the women's draw right now, and her form was. It felt like she peaked maybe a little early last week. It felt like she was really playing a little bit better tennis than I'm seeing out of her this week. If she's being strategic and she's kind of trying to keep her reserves. And have something available so that she can beat Halep, then she's probably going to the semifinals. But I agree. I think Halep gets by Lauren Davis easily, and then we'll have her hands full with Barty. And assuming that Halep can get by Barty, then I would expect that quarterfinal to match up against Pliskova. And that's really an interesting strength versus strength. Pliskova's service game is outstanding, and Simona's an incredible defender. I would guess, based on what we've seen out of the court speed on some of the main courts, that you probably would have to tip Simona as a small favorite in that matchup. But the first quarter of the women's draw really is kind of shaping up as pretty interesting.
Yeah.
the second quarter of the women's draw has maybe the match of the third round, maybe the match of the next couple rounds. Kerber versus Sharapova is going to be get your popcorn. I cannot wait to see how these two match up. There's not a lot of history there, really. I mean, Kerber was outstanding when Sharapova was kind of slumping a little bit, so we haven't seen a ton of, we don't have a ton to go off of how these two match up with each other, which makes it even more interesting and more fun to handicap. I'm holding a small Kerber ticket at 20-1 to win, and I'm a little worried that she's kind of like Ashley Barty. She may have peaked a little early and kind of burned out some of her magic last week when, she won a title, terrific. She's back on tour. She looks like her old self, terrific. But it's going to be tough for her to continue this level and this form for the rest of the tournament. And she's got a tough road too. She's going to have to potentially get by Madison Keys as well. Madison Keys was on fire yesterday, smashing the ball, praying for it to go in, hitting every shot. It was awesome to watch. She wiped the floor with Alexandrova 6-0, 6-1, and if you're worried about playing in the heat, that's one way to solve those problems is only spend 40 minutes on court and get a win. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Kerber. Go on, Alex.
Well, Capper mentioned about the heat. Yes, all the players are having big issues with the heat. Imagine that they are playing at 45 Celsius, 45 degrees. Imagine that. It's unbelievable. Also, Federer said today, after, because he was playing in the night shift, he said, I'm happy to play at this hour because there is not so much heat. But I wonder what is happening with the players playing at 45, 50 Celsius on the court, because in the air there are 35, but on the court level, 45, 50 degrees. So imagine that a player might lose 5 kilos in 2 hours. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and this is really where you need to be at your top level of fitness, and obviously, especially on the men's side as well, a lot of injuries. What were you going to say there, Kappa?
That plays right into something I'm a little nervous about holding a Svitolina future. She looked a little affected by the heat in her round 2 match, and it's going to be hotter today than it was yesterday. And yesterday it was like, God help you if you were on the, in the sun on the court. It was just unfathomable heat to deal with as a tennis player, and so I'm a little nervous that we might, thankfully she's playing this relatively inexperienced 15-year-old, ironically another Ukrainian player, and I think she has the tools in the game to get past her, but she's not one for the heat, and this is a tricky spot for Svitolina. So
yeah. Something to factor in there. Do you have any? You said you're holding a ticket there for Svitolina to win the outrights. Do you have any other players that you've either got money on or sort of looking there to sort of hedge your bets?
Yes. So Kerber, I'm holding 3 tickets in the women's side. Kerber at 20-1, I have a half unit on, and then I have a full unit on Svitolina and Wozniacki. I think 16 and 12 respectively. And Wozniacki gave me a heck of a scare against Jenna Fett. I guess she's a tennis player. I don't know. Once you get past the top like 24 women, I'm a little less knowledgeable of some of these players. Like the woman who beat Joanna Conti yesterday is not one I had ever really heard of before. So learning as we're going here a little bit on the women's side. But Wozniacki gave me a scare.
Well, Kapper, I think that you should be very happy that Wozniacki is playing on the night shift today at night, for example. Yeah, because if she was playing against Bertens at 40 Celsius, I didn't saw her well yesterday. So she's very lucky to not play daytime.
Yeah, very true.
And I would say Wozniacki, her comeback, it had a little bit of a confidence building feel, which I liked actually. I guess between Svitolina and Wozniacki, I'm a little more concerned about Svitolina, just because of how affected she clearly looked in the heat, and And Wozniacki, I think, is going to get a huge boost from coming back from down 5-1 and facing 2 match points and
set,
then eking out a win in the third. That was really, really fun to watch, and that should have a huge that's the kind of thing that happens early in a tournament, and then you don't lose a set the whole rest of the way and go up away. So
Svitolina has the easiest draw with after that she will play Alertova or Magdalinet. After that she will play whoever comes from Mertens, Cornet, Martic, so I think that she has the easiest draw possible in the tournament.
I didn't ask you. Sorry, I didn't ask you there, Alex. Sharapova. What are your any leans on that one? Are you playing in play, especially as well? Kappa is also mentioning the the lack of history between the two players.
I think that Kerber will get the job done here against Sharapova. 1.75 for Kerber to win against Sharapova. I will be really happy to see Sharapova out from this tournament. She doesn't have anything to do with tennis after taking those pills. I will keep my thoughts about what happened with her. I didn't agree for the fact that she was present at the draw and they were asking her about the break that she had, 15 months not playing tennis. Not that she was suspended, actually. Yeah, it's a weird thing there. So don't listen to me too much because I'm against whatever is happening with Sharapova here.
Okay. Are you in playing Kappa on that match? Do you in play or do you prefer to make your bets before the match?
I personally don't do particularly well in play, so I've just kind of gotten to the point in my handicapping career where I make my decisions before the match and just we'll see you at the end of the match. There's obviously exceptions to that rule when you see opportunities to really capture some value because something's happened in the match that you've identified and the line hasn't really reflected it. I'll make certain wagers, but I'm not sitting at my computer looking at live lines trying to trade during these matches. And and on the women's side, I'm actually not even playing any singles before any of these matches until we probably get to the fourth round or the quarterfinals. I'm mostly focusing on the men's side of the draw and trying to hit in game, singles pregame there. We're getting to the part of the tournament though where it's you can really find value in some of the money line parlays. We're seeing the more blue chip men's players money lines start to come down a little bit as they're facing more more reasonable competition. You're seeing ways to get 2 and 3 legs together and get your odds into a range where it's a little bit, you're laying a little bit less juice. And we mentioned this in the preview, but historically speaking, the Aussie Open, once you get to round 3 and 4 on the men's side of the draw, really becomes chalk. And you see maybe 1 or 2 upsets in the third round, maybe 1 or 2 in the fourth round, and after that, it's pretty straightforward to pick out who's playing with the winning form, and they're usually priced appropriately. So this is the time to kind of pivot, I think, from trying to identify value in the underdogs to kind of making the most out of the favorites.
Okay, well, leading on to my next question, then, which matches have you got your eye on, and have you pulled the trigger on any of them yet?
So round 3, I have not, but I'm pretty keen on Kyrgios today. I think a lot was made out of Tsonga's form. I think a lot was made out of Kyrgios kind of not really being all into it mentally. In the Troitsky match, he was a little bit of a basket case, even though he won 3-0. He won 3-0, and so if you're just kind of scoreboard, perusing as opposed to digging in a little deeper, I think you probably would say, oh, he beat Troitsky 3-0. He's fine, but there was some reports and some media that were kind of capturing he wasn't a particularly happy camper. And then yesterday he played doubles in the heat. That I think has depressed his price a little bit today, and so it makes it for an interesting parlay leg. I think Kyrgios is probably even right now with Dimitrov to come out of the second quarter and make it to the semifinals. I mean, at least the way I would handicap it, it's.
What was it? World Cup froze there a second. Yeah, over to you there. Oh, sorry, World Cup, you froze there for a second. We sort of lost the last little bit that you said. Last part I heard was that you would parlay Kyrgios and Dimitrov to make it out of the next round.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, no, I think Kyrgios is a good parlay leg today. With value. I think his price is a little depressed based on having played in the heat yesterday and a little bit of some of the issues that he showed in the Troitsky match. And I think he makes a nice parlay leg today and gets a comfortable win against Tsonga.
Okay, so going for that comfortable win there. Alex, I know you've got your eye on Kyrgios versus Tsonga. What's your bet there?
I think that we will see a long match. I don't really understand the small price on Kyrgios, but it might be because he's playing at home. It might be because he had a really good year so far. But I'm predicting a long match, and it's weird to see that the game's Asian handicap line are at 37.5. You understand? So I'm going for the over 37.5 games at 1.8. That's incredible odd. I think that we would at least see 4 sets in the match. For sure, Tsonga can win 1 set against Kyrgios. I don't think that the problem with Kyrgios that he is not playing the same from the start of the match till the end of the match. And Tsonga can have his particularly really good moments on the game. So I think that we will see a long match. And also the other one that Whale Capper mentioned, Dimitrov versus Rublev. Again, I'm going also on the game lines also there. 37.5 again, 1.83. Dimitrov struggled a little bit against McDonald. He won in 5 sets. Rublev is a really good youngster that I said to you from the beginning of the tournament that he's a player to watch this year, and I'm going to stick with him that he will make it really tough for Dimitrov in this match. So again, over 37.5 sets games. Sorry, Asian handicap at 1.83.
All right. Do you agree there with what Alex is going for?
Yeah, I think I guess the lines that when I woke up this morning and kind of went through trying to identify value, I found value on Kyrgios, Dimitrov, Crania Busta I like a lot, and I think he's priced too shortly, and Kyle Edmund, amazing. He's playing amazing tennis. He really is taking his game to another level, and I faded him in round 2 because I thought the conditions were going to be too hot for him and he was going to wear down. And he absolutely destroyed Dennis Eastman. And he's proven it to me, I guess, to this point in this season that he's got enough new tools and he's got some, he's gotten his conditioning up to a level where he can play in this heat. And so I think he warrants some consideration today as far as a parlay leg. I like the over in the Dolgopolov match. That one, I think, if there's one match that goes probably 5 sets today, I would have to say it's going to be that one. I think those 2 players are very evenly matched. And I haven't looked at what the current games total is, but if there's one that I'm probably going to zero in on, it's going to be that one. I think it's going to be very tough for either player to really get a foothold and just walk away with that one. And you're probably going to see a back and forth 5-setter. And they're playing in the heat of the day. It could get real grueling. One of the things that I kind of am counting on today in my handicap is it's going to be hotter than it was yesterday. And when it's this hot out, you generally see the players are less willing to play defensively, engage in long rallies, really grind out games. And so if you have 2 relatively even strength players at even form in a given set, the likelihood of a tiebreak goes up, just because they're not going to exhaust all of their resources to get that key break. They're more willing to just
I think I'll be back in a second. There, are you froze again? Okay, and we've actually just got a question as well. Eric Mullins was asking who wins Dolgopolov, the Dolgopolov match. You're sort of, you think it's going to be pretty close. Alex, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that Dolgopolov did a really good Australian Open so far. I have him down at 1.76 against Schwarzman. This is one of my plays for this night.
All right. Any other matches or tips, Alex, that you want to throw in for our viewers?
Yes, from round 3, Alexander Zverev versus Chung, over 38.5 games on the Asian handicap at 1.84. As I said, Dimitrov versus Rublev over 37.5. Dolgopolov to win. And finally, Dominic Thiem versus Manarino over 3.5 sets, Asian handicap at 1.7.
All right, there we go. So that's Alex from Need for Tips. Make sure to subscribe to his channel, but also Bookmakers News and Odds Market as well. He's giving a free in-play tips throughout the tournament. And Whale Kappa, so it's Whale_Kappa. You said you haven't quite pulled the trigger yet, but do you want to sort of like recap the matches or tips that you are looking at heading into round 3?
Yeah, so I'm going to put together a couple of parlays. I would put a couple of moneyline parlays together here for including Kyrgios and Dimitrov. I like the over in the Dolgopolov match. This is all for today's action. As far as futures on the men's side, we didn't really talk about this, but this is Federer's tournament at this point. His draw has opened up perfectly. We saw Del Potro was probably the only guy in the fourth quarter who I think could really even take a set off Federer, let alone challenge him for an upset, and he got absolutely drained. Wouldn't be surprised if Burdick can pick off an upset against Del Potro tomorrow, and then at that point, Federer is going to be a minus. He's going to be he'll be a proverbial favorite to come out of his quarter without dropping a set, pretty much. And at that point, he'll play either a tired Djokovic. Djokovic put himself in a really terrible spot yesterday playing that match in the heat. It was impressive, yes, but was it strategic and smart for the length of this tournament? I don't think you can make any case for that, other than like maybe he gets a little bit of a mental edge over guys like, look, I can do this, I guess. But he's going to have a tough time with Alexander Zverev, assuming Zverev even gets by Chung, which isn't a guarantee. Yeah. And then presumably play maybe Dominic Thiem, it looks like, has got a pretty clear path in the top half of the third quarter. So you're going to see Djokovic take some lumps here over the next couple weeks, and I think Federer is probably going to have his way with him because Federer is going to be pretty fresh. He's getting these night matches. It's nice and cool. He's not playing particularly tough competition. This really does feel like Federer is to lose, which is crazy because who would have thought he was going to get this type of path to his 20th title. Although I guess Nadal fans probably are screaming at me right now, like, how can you dismiss our boy? But I don't know. I think the court, the conditions, the tournament, it all suits itself to a Federer title at this point.
Yeah, for also from my sorry, Natalie. Also from my point of view, Federer is the best tennis player in the world and in the history of tennis, and he remains a legend. He's playing absolutely incredible. I saw him today, amazing against Struff, but also his opponent played a really good tennis. And we didn't mention one match here. Andrea Seppi versus Ivo Karlovic. Ergo also asked me in the comment section. By the way, we hi to everybody that is watching our show. Michael, Ergo, Andrew, Olemis, Itrat, welcome back, mate. Joao, and all the other guys. Sorry if I missed someone. Andrea Seppi versus Ivo Karlovic, as I said. Ivo Karlovic at 36 years old right now. He played a 5-setter in the previous round. I don't think that he will be able to compete anymore at so many in that heat. I think that it's a sure win from my point of view for Andrea Seppi, despite the fact that he is priced at under 1.7. He's at 1.63 with Betfair right now. I will take him, and maybe I will stick him also in an accumulator bet.
All right, there we go. Would you any last thoughts there, Whale Kappa?
I'd look for a tiebreak in that Sevovic match.
First,
I'd say the odds of
first set tiebreak
pretty short.
2.1.
Yeah, that's a good number, I gotta say. You know, tiebreaks today is going to be the name of the game. If you can figure out which players are going to make it into the tiebreaks and trade tiebreaks, even, you're going to be able to find some overs. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting day. I hope the players stay hydrated, and over the course of this week, got to really think about how the damage being done getting through these hot matches bounds, because it's, this is a marathon and these are incremental legs that they have to run through.
Yeah.
So
very true.
It's going to be tough.
Very true. All right, guys, going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching, all our commenters. We've got Craig West there. Great show, guys. Thank you. Thank you to you for watching. Whale Kappa, do follow him on Twitter. Whale_Kappa. Alex from Need for Tips. Put those in the comment section as well. So thank you for watching, guys, and best of luck with your tips heading into round 3.
Thanks, Natalie.